And then the mother of all killers. How many of you don't do this? Can you read it? Oh, I'm sure many of them will, oh no, I can't see it, it's too far away. You show less profits because you want to evade tax. You show a bigger order book because you want to get a bigger loan. You have not sold anything, but you make an invoice and you discount it from the bank. What are you doing in the bargain? Whom are you helping? Because the numbers which you fudge will actually pull you down. I'm not here to give you a lecture on moral science, that it is good to be nice, it is good to tell everything honestly, it is good not to cheat. Fine, go ahead and cheat if you have to, I don't care, I won't stop you. But the point is, the moment you are fudging your numbers, you will fall in a cycle where the number will go down on its own. And your CA will help you in what? Your CA will help you to kill your company. Because he will tell you, sir, आप वो छोड़ो, आप क्या करने वाले हो? आप मेरे को बता दो, आप कितने का लोन अप्लाई कर रहे हो? Now that your project has gone to dogs, it has nothing to do with this. He will ask you, how much loan are you looking for? Then he will craft the sales based on that. Then based on that, he will craft the materials. Then he will craft the profits. And then he will show a very nice thing. Banks also happy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, now compliant, this. ISO 9000 hai. And you get the money. What do you do with the money? I was talking to my friend in UCO Bank. He said, yeah, the biggest problem is I'm not sanctioning any loans these days. Is because the moment I give a 15-20 lakh loan to a small entrepreneur, next day I see that his daughter is getting married. Huh? Most of the small medium enterprise loans are used not for business, but for buying you that third car which you want to show off, but for meeting the expenses of your marriage of your daughter, or so on and so forth. I'm not talking to you, sorry, don't get me wrong, nothing personal, but this is data. The biggest data is Vijay Mallya took all those loans to see those beautiful ladies fly in that aircraft. You have same examples everywhere. So, if you fudge numbers, you're going to kill your company. Okay, you have not fudged numbers, you have done a good job, now you have started, doing good business, and you appoint an exclusive distributor in so many countries and you make a contract. Does this seem impressive? I'm talking of a company which actually did this. Does it seem impressive? Would you like your company to be like that? Yeah? Company closed. Because most small medium businesses save money on legal advice. You are under tremendous threat from all of these if you don't have strong and sound legal advice. Money saved on lawyers. Anybody with a kala coat will write the exclusive distribution agreement. Please imagine you are working in a dog's world. Unless you are, I'm sorry asking you this question again and again. How many of you are manufacturers? How many of you sell your products through distributors? How many of you have a distribution agreement with him? How many are exclusive? Does anybody have an exclusive dealership agreement with somebody? Yeah? There, gentlemen. One of the biggest problems which irritates me the maximum is that you go and appoint an exclusive distributor, but you don't tie him to a target. So what happens is this. You are depending on that distributor for that particular territory and giving him the exclusive rights to be in that territory, but he is not giving you anything in terms of a commitment. Now, if it has to be an exclusive dealership, it has to be mutual. Then he has to fill your shop. Same thing with employees. Same thing with customer contracts. How many of you actually read the purchase order that comes to you from the company? How many of you read the purchase order? Nobody? You do? And do you read the fine print? And do you challenge them that clause number 37.3 is not acceptable to me? We do. And do they change? They change. There's the risk-free company. All others are at risk. Ignoring legal can kill your company. And companies have folded up. One bank guarantee encashed, and your whole year is gone to dogs. One more quick question. What was your actual sales versus target versus last year? Does anybody have sales? Does anybody have sales here? What was the sale versus target last year? Or let me put it this way. Did you meet 100% of your target? Those who met 100% of the target, please raise your hands up. 2, 3. Those who met 60% of the target, please raise your hands up. Those who met 130% of the target, please raise your hands up. You know something? All these are bad situations. You meet 60% of your target, it's bad. Anybody will tell you that. You go to 130% of your target, I will be the first one to question your company. Because how did you make the target? Was target made arbitrarily? Was it set based on what you thought you will sell? Or was it a fancy number that you thought of? And what is the significance of, what is the implication for a target not being met or sales not being as per forecast? Can you tell me the implication, anybody? You won't know that, I'll come to that in a minute. Most of you do your targeting by last year plus X%. How many of you do sales budgeting? Yeah? And how do you budget the next year's sale? पिछले साल 150 करोड़ था, अभी 10% ऐड करके दे दो अपने सेल्समैन को वहाँ से. Then how do you do it, ma'am? Brilliant. That is the only way, and I am sure and I can prove that she is the only person in this room of 300 people who does that. Sales short of target, but sales ahead of target is as bad. The reason is, and let me warn you as owners, if you have a target of, let's say, 100 units in a year, and you reach only 80 units, who is the sufferer? Is the salesman the sufferer? Is the production head the sufferer? Is the manager, is the employee the sufferer? Is the customer the supplier? Is the vendor the supplier? Who is suffering? No, owner. Yeah, let's be realistic. Owner. Why? कम हो गई सेल तो क्या हो गया? ठीक है ना, तो प्रॉफिट थोड़ा कम हो गया तो क्या प्रॉब्लम क्या है? प्रॉफिट थोड़ा कम हो गया तो क्या प्रॉब्लम क्या है? See, what you don't realize and what your managers don't allow you to realize is that for a particular sale you have planned a certain expense. You have a certain operational expense which you have planned, which you cannot reduce. But your income is reduced. Can you tell people that this year we did not meet the sales target, so therefore we will pay you less? Like you give sales commissions to your people, your traders and so on. But have you ever bothered or have you ever had the courage to tell the people that, well, it was 80%, so I get back 20 rupees? He will say bye-bye. Why? Because from day one, you gave them a comfort that it's okay not to meet targets. Because from day one, you made your targets based on last year plus 10%. If the targets are made scientifically, there is no way they cannot be met. You have to have a performance strategy for your company in terms of forecasting, not through last year plus Y. Add all market opportunities, she covered this. Factor reach, price conformity. You will not be able to reach every market. You will not be able to compete everywhere. You will not have price point for everything. But it's okay to make a general statement like that. But do you sit down and write down that these are the 5 markets where I will not go because I cannot meet the price? Have you quantified those markets? Have you quantified the total available market? Then reduced it by that. Have you reviewed whether you have the adequate resources for doing that, whether human or financial? I've seen many managers and many companies, they make all the targets in the world, everything is done, projections are made as per that, but then you don't consider the fact that you don't have enough people to do it. से लोग लगाएंगे, थोड़ा ये होने दो, उसके बाद 4 लोग लगाएंगे। अरे बट ये जो सेल आप प्लान कर रहे हो उसके लिए 8 लोग लगेंगे, आप बोलते हो मैं 4 से स्टार्ट करूंगा। इट इज लाइक टेकिंग अ कार एंड सेइंग यार लेट्स ड्राइव इट, 1 व्हील बाद में लगाएंगे, 3 व्हील पे तो चला सकते हैं। Then you have to multiply it by hit rate, because your people will not be able to get every order that you bring. They're not, whether by virtue of their competence, by virtue of politics, by virtue of whatever. Now that is the number which you get, which becomes the target, and then you have to make somebody own that target. जब आपने बोला that people will say bye bye, they will say bye bye because at the beginning of the year you did not explain the target to him as to where it came from. And then take his ownership. Yes, this is realistic, this is smart, this is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. If you don't have his agreement on that, he doesn't feel the ownership. And it's not only him, it's also you. You know, I tell him, I was talking to a very large multinational, and they said we achieved 30% higher than the turnover. And everybody was happy. I met the vice president of sales. I said, CV, you made 30% more than target, and you're glad? He says, yeah, why not? I said, that means your people were not aware of 30% market opportunities out there. So, making of these targets is not just adding numbers. It's not just meeting the sales target. So, if you are going to have the target and sales discussion on a tutu meme basis, both of you are wrong. But if you have data, nobody can challenge. If there are 15 projects coming up in this month, this is the total value, this is the reach I will have, these are the projects where I cannot compete, these are the projects where I don't have people, so this is what I should get. And then you follow a thorough sales professional process. Targets don't come because we make them. Sales don't come from targets, they come from plans. So if your person is not able to meet the target, it's not sales, it's not because you made the target, it's because you didn't plan.